What's up YouTube, this is GalacticGod and I'm coming at you now with another one of my OTKs of the past videos for you. Today's episode is going to be in memory of Elemental Hero Stratos. I find that to be only fitting considering that he was once again denied his parole off the forbidden list. So for those of you guys who are a little new to the game, you might not remember that Elemental Heroes did have a pretty popular OTK around the time of the 100th YCS. It was an era that was ultimately ruled by the Dino Rabbit deck. It dominated the format pretty heavily, similar to the way Dragon Rulers did recently. Because of this, Heroes was a pretty great anti-meta deck to that format, as they had an inherent ability to get around cards like Logia with spells like Super Polymerization. But not only that, Heroes had a great way of exploding. They had an OTK at their disposal that only required you to have 2 cards in hand. If you happen to have these 2 cards, might I add both of which are on the forbidden list currently, you could perform an OTK and do over 8,000 points of damage. Now since this OTK does require you to attack, you will need to go second to complete it. Also, if your opponent was able to set up some kind of field, you will need cards like Dark Hole or Heavy Storm to clear the way for you. If you manage to draw these cards mid to late game, your opponent would most likely have less resources on the field and it might be a little bit easier to get around. In any event, these cards could lead you to either a very powerful push or an OTK out of nowhere. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and show you how this OTK was performed back in the day. Alright, so the first thing you would go ahead and do is summon your Elemental Hero Stratos. Stratos' effect would activate, allowing you to go ahead and grab an Elemental Hero card from your deck. In this scenario, we're going to go ahead and grab Elemental Hero Bubbleman and add it to our hand. Next thing we're going to do is go ahead and set our spell or trap card that is left in our hand to the field. That will allow us to special summon out our Elemental Hero Bubbleman to the field. We can now go ahead and overlay our Stratos and our Bubbleman to perform an Exceed Summon and bring out Blade Armor Ninja. Next thing we're going to do is go ahead and activate Blade Armor Ninja's effect. We're going to detach Stratos and send it to the graveyard. Make sure at this point that you do detach the Stratos. Do not detach the Elemental Hero Bubbleman. That would totally mess up the combo. Next thing we're going to do is go ahead and activate our set card, which is Monster Reborn. This allows us to bring back our Stratos from the graveyard to the field. Stratos' effect will once again activate, allowing us to go back into our deck and grab another Elemental Hero monster and add it to our hand. In this scenario, we are going to grab Elemental Hero Bubbleman once more and add it to our hand. Once Bubbleman is in our hand, we can go ahead and special summon it back to the field via its own effect and perform another Exceed Summon by overlaying our 2 monsters. Right now, we're going to bring out our second Blade Armor Ninja. Now, with the card pool that's available to us today, you could bring out cards like Heroic Champion Excalibur, but at the time that this OTK was heavily played, Heroic Champion Excalibur was not yet released in the TCG. Now, we're going to go ahead and activate this Blade Armor Ninja's effect, sending Stratos back to the graveyard. We now have 2 Blade Armor Ninjas, which can each do 2,200 points of damage twice via its effect, doing a total amount of damage of 8,800. Assuming there was no roadblocks in the way that could keep you from completing these attacks, you were destined for victory. And that, my friends, is the Elemental Hero Blade Armor Ninja OTK. So, in the comment section below, remember to let me know what you think of this OTK. Do you think if Elemental Hero Stratos and Monster Reborn were to come off the forbidden list, that this OTK would be a viable option to hero players in the current meta? Or do you think it is just too dated by today's standards? And I guess that's it for now. This is GalacticGod, out.